My name is Mustafa and today we are going to learn all about mean, median, mode, range and outlier. Let's start off with mean. The mean is the average of a set of numbers in a data. Just add up all the numbers then divide by how many numbers there are. Let's take an example. Let's say we have to find out the mean of these numbers. So we have to add up all the numbers and then divide by how many numbers there are. So first let's arrange these numbers. So 1 goes before 3 and 5 goes before 6, and then we add these numbers up and we get 90, right? Now we have to divide these numbers by 5. So why divide by 5? Let's go back to our rule. It says after we add up all the numbers, we have to divide by how many numbers there are. So there are 5 numbers, as we can see. 1, 3, 5, 6 and 75 are 5 numbers. So 90 divided by 5 equals 18, and that's our final result. The mean is 18. Now, what's a median? The median is literally the middle number in a data. Let's take an example. So what will be the median of these numbers? So let's start crossing numbers from opposite sides until we have the middle number. So 1, 2, and 5 is our middle number. So 5 is the median. Now let's try something even harder. Let's say this is our new question. So let's just start crossing out numbers from opposite sides. So that's like the first cross, that's the second cross. But now we have 2 numbers in the middle. So is 5 and 6 the median? No, not at all. What we do is that we add 5 and 6 together and we get 11. And then we divide by 2 because we have to find the middle number. So we divide by 2 and we get 5.5. And that's our median. Simple. Now let's move on to mode. The mode is the most repeated number in a data. Let's take an example. 1 is repeated once, 3 is repeated once, 5 is repeated twice, 6 is repeated once, 75 is repeated once. This means the 5 is the mode as it is repeated the most. It is repeated twice. Let's try another example. In this data, 1 is repeated once, 3 is repeated once, 5 is repeated twice, 6 is repeated twice too, and 75 is repeated once. This means that 5 and 6 are the mode. Let's move on to range. The range is the biggest number minus the smallest number. Let's take an example. In this question, 75 is the biggest number and 1 is the smallest number. So 75 minus 1 is 74. So 74 is the range. Finally, let's move on to the outlier. The outlier is any value that is much smaller or larger than most of the other values in a set of data. For example, in this question, 75 is the outlier as it does not suit to any of the other numbers in this data.